Imagine this. A dusty roadside bar. 10 bikers walk in, armed with nothing but arrogance and fire in their eyes. They think it's just another night of easy money. Another victim to scare. Another place to burn. But what if the woman they cornered, the one folding napkins, wiping tables, looking so ordinary, wasn't ordinary at all? What if, under that loose shirt, she carried scars, steel, and the mark of one of the deadliest warriors alive? This is her story. The beer mug slammed against the floor. It shattered, glass exploding into silence. Murphy's Roadhouse froze. All eyes turned to him. Viper Jackson. 6'3". Muscles tight under a leather vest. A snake tattoo twisting up his neck. His meaty hand clamped around the collar of a woman wiping tables. Elena Rodriguez. Small frame. Ponytail. Worn sneakers. Loose white shirt. Ordinary. Forgettable. Viper's whiskey breath hit her face. $5,000. Every month. Or this bar burns. Elena's gaze stayed low. She didn't fight. Didn't flinch. She looked like prey. In the corner booth, Sheriff Tom Bradley set his coffee down. Off duty. No badge. No gun. But his eyes sharpened, tracking every move. Around them, 10 bikers rose from their seats. Boots heavy. A slow, circling pattern. Predators tightening the noose. And then her shirt tore. Some nights don't knock. They kick down the door. The Desert Vipers weren't strangers here. 3 bars burned in the last month. Owners who refused their protection ended up in hospitals. Everyone knew the pattern. Everyone feared the shadow that followed them. And tonight, that shadow had fallen on Murphy's. Elena kept moving like nothing changed. Folding napkins into perfect triangles. Wiping tables in exact, neat grids. Not rushing. Not trembling. But never once leaving her back to the door. Jake, the young bartender, could barely breathe. Sweat rolled down his temples. That's them, he whispered, his voice cracking. They burned Rossetti's place in Oceanside. She didn't answer. Just kept folding. Calm. Silent. Harmless. Or so she looked. Around the bar, the Vipers spread out. Not random, strategic. Covering exits. Cutting off sightlines. Owning the room one step at a time. And at the center of it all, Viper Jackson moved in. Closer, closer. His hand rising toward Elena's shirt collar. The moment the room's breath seemed ready to snap. Wolves smell weakness. But what if the lamb is a lion? The circle tightened. 10 bikers moving like a pack. Pool table, jukebox, back door. Predators sealing off every exit. But predators make mistakes. The one by the jukebox carried weight wrong, his bad knee buckling with each step. 2 by the pool table were too busy sneering, playing the part of bullies, not guards. And Viper Jackson himself, he stood too close. Inside the reaction zone of someone who knew how to move. Sheriff Bradley noticed it. The slow way he shifted in his booth, sliding into a better angle. His eyes were calm. Watching. Calculating. And Elena. Her fingers brushed the chain under her shirt. The dog tag. Warm metal against her skin. Memory. Blood. Duty. To everyone else, she looked like a terrified waitress. Head bowed. Shoulders tight. But her feet had shifted, balanced, coiled, ready. Her weight no longer that of prey. And then, Viper's hand shot forward, a fist closing around her shirt, and he yanked with all his strength. One rip. One tattoo. And a room forgot how to breathe. The shirt split wide, white cotton tearing in a harsh, final sound. Fabric dangled loose. The disguise was gone. Beneath, a black tank clung tight. And across her back, ink roared louder than words. An eagle. A globe. An anchor. The mark of the United States Marine Corps, stretched wing to wing across her shoulders. Below it, in bold, unflinching letters. First Force Recon. And beneath that, her name. Rodriguez. Mos 0311. Infantry. The spear point. But it wasn't just ink. Scars cut the story deeper. A puckered bullet wound. Shrapnel etched along her ribs. A jagged blade mark vanishing under the tank's edge. The bar froze. Glasses hung mid-air. Conversations died. Even the jukebox stalled in silence. A veteran near the wall exhaled sharply. Sheriff Bradley whispered it like a prayer. Force Recon. Viper's face drained. The swagger, the threat, it vanished in a heartbeat. The ordinary server was no server at all. She was a warrior, one of the deadliest the Corps ever forged. Elena lifted her chin, eyes calm, and said softly, "Mr. Jackson, you owe me an apology. The right name can gut a man faster than a knife." Elena's voice cut the silence. "Stephen Jackson." The biker stiffened. No one used that name anymore. She went on, steady and precise. Dishonorably discharged. 6 years ago. Caught stealing and selling military equipment. Now leader of the Desert Vipers. Wanted for arson and assault. Gasps rippled through the bar. Phones lifted. Recording started. Every eye locked on the man who suddenly looked much smaller. From the back, a grizzled figure rose. Colonel Mike Harrison. Medal of Honor. Retired. His voice carried command even in plain clothes. Gunny Rodriguez. Force Recon. I remember you. Fallujah. 2004. Her response came like instinct. Sir. Her chin dipped. Her tone sharpened. She spoke of the schoolhouse. Of the brothers who didn't walk out. Another voice broke in. Maria Santos, the woman who sold flowers on Main Street. I treated you. Burns over half your body. 3 bullets. Shrapnel everywhere. They said you'd never walk again. Elena's reply was ice. Doctors can be wrong. The quiet locals weren't ordinary at all. Veterans hid in plain sight, now rising one by one. Chairs scraped. Boots shifted. Veterans moved, blocking the exits. The Vipers were trapped. Respect isn't asked for. It's commanded. Sheriff Bradley stepped forward, steady as stone. Ma'am, do you want to press charges? Assault. Destruction of property. Plenty of witnesses. Elena shook her head. Come. Collected. No. They're leaving. And they won't return. Viper's lips trembled. His head bobbed. Why yes ma'am. We're gone. We won't come back. But Elena wasn't finished. Her voice dropped, sharp as a blade. Kneel. The word cracked across the room. Viper's knees hit the floor before his brain could argue. And in front of his crew. In front of the sheriff, the veterans, and a dozen recording phones. The feared leader of the Desert Vipers bent his head like a whipped dog. Apologize, she said. He did. Stumbling words. Broken pride. Humiliation soaking every syllable. And with that, the gang's dominance shattered. Not a punch thrown. Not a chair lifted. A Marine had crushed them with nothing but presence. The terror of 10 bikers ended without violence. Authority alone broke them. Viper raised his eyes, voice cracking. Why hide it? Why pretend to be just a server? Some wounds don't bleed. They whisper at 3 a.m. Elena's voice stayed steady. 47 confirmed kills. Twice as many unconfirmed. A box of medals locked in a storage unit. And nightmares, every single night. She exhaled slowly. I came here to disappear. To pour coffee. To fold napkins. To remember what it feels like to be normal. Maria Santos shook her head. They stole that piece from you tonight. Elena corrected her. No. They reminded me. Peace isn't something you hide to keep. It's something you create. By standing your ground. Colonel Harrison's eyes softened. Gunny, what you did back then, you saved lives. Elena's jaw tightened. 38 children survived. Not 37. One was born on the evac chopper. Her mother named her Elena. The bar went silent. Not fearful. Not tense. Silent because the weight of her truth had settled over everyone. She hadn't run from war. She'd chosen a new mission. Service without a rifle, sacrifice without recognition. Jake's voice broke the silence. So, what now? Peace isn't a gift. It's a post. And Marines don't abandon posts. Word spread faster than engines on a highway. Murphy's Roadhouse changed. Walls filled with photos and patches. A shelf of donated books appeared in the corner. Every Tuesday became Veterans Night. Not loud. Not advertised. Just a place where warriors could breathe. And Elena. She didn't shrink anymore. Didn't hunch her shoulders. She moved with the quiet strength of a Marine. Confident. Calm. Unshakable. Reporters tried to frame her as a hero. She always gave the same answer. Warriors don't need recognition. They serve. Jake lingered by the wall one night. I've been thinking of enlisting. Elena studied him carefully. The Corps takes everything. And asked for more. Make sure you're ready to pay that price. A week later, a small package arrived. Inside, a purple heart. Polished clean. A note, you left this at Leatherneck. Elena hung it on the wall beside her fallen brothers. Murphy's wasn't just a bar anymore. It was sacred ground. And at its heart stood Elena Rodriguez. Still on duty. Not with a rifle, but with a coffee pot. Still serving. Still faithful.